Good afternoon. Welcome to the forecast discussion for July 9th, 2014, and it is a rather unsettled day. We have another cold front moving through, as you can see with the temperatures here throughout the northern mid-Atlantic all the way back to the Great Lakes. Over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, you have temperatures in the lower to mid 80s over the northern interior, and generally lower to mid 80s as well in the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. So clearly not nearly as hot as what we saw yesterday, where temperatures were in the lower to mid 90s in many locations. The humidity is still present, although not as bad as yesterday, with dew points in the upper 60s to lower 70s, a few mid 60s mixed in there as well. And then we head out west with our next cold front moving through. We actually have two, one moving through now over the region and another one approaching from central Pennsylvania. Look at these temperatures out here. Mid 70s. That's what's heading our way by the time we get to this evening. So we'll deal with a few showers and thunderstorms today. High temperatures basically in the mid to upper 80s over many locations today. Lower to mid 80s along the immediate coast, with showers and thunderstorms approaching this afternoon, clearing out by this evening. On the latest surface map, you can see the first cold front moving through. We have a few showers over southern New Jersey with this cold front. And then the second cold front, the more powerful cold front, will be driving through this afternoon and evening with showers and thunderstorms as well that have already started to develop throughout much of central and western Pennsylvania and moving towards our neck of the woods. Now, on the latest radar, you can clearly see these line segments of thunderstorms approaching the region. We have a couple that are starting to push into eastern Pennsylvania now. These thunderstorms generally will be below severe levels, but a few isolated ones could hit severe levels, and the primary focus will be wind gusts over 60 miles per hour, frequent lightning, and very heavy downpours. Does not look like a hail threat at this time, although I can't rule it out. Not a tornado threat in my opinion. The wind shear just isn't strong enough. Of course, with that being said, can't rule out an isolated tornado. I just don't really see it being a primary impact threat with this setup. But clearly we have these line segments of thunderstorms. Now, unlike yesterday where we had this big bow echo of thunderstorms that was charging towards the region, which made it very clear that we were dealing with a widespread damaging wind event like basically what we had last night with trees down, power outages, and so on and so forth. In this case, it's going to be more localized, and it'll be with individual thunderstorms capable of strong wind gusts, but not a widespread wind damage impact like what we saw last night. You can clearly see these lines of thunderstorms are linear. There is no bowing to them like what we saw yesterday with those thunderstorms that moved through last night. Again, with this type of thunderstorm setup as well, they're individualized, so that usually means that they'll be able to really intensify rapidly, but then weaken just as rapidly in a very short period of time. So don't be surprised if a thunderstorm pops up over you and then falls apart just as fast. By the way, over southern New Jersey with these showers, that actually might be your saving grace down there. With these showers, it's kind of stabilizing the atmosphere, so as a result, when these thunderstorms approach, they really won't have as much energy to tap into. So, yes, it's a little bit wet out there right now over southern New Jersey, but that likely will save you from any severe thunderstorm threats because the atmosphere in this area is going to be more stable with more of a marine influence in place over the region. So when we take a look at the infrared satellite picture, well, take a look. We have one cold front. Here's that cumulus field I was waiting for. Here's the second cold front. And then behind this cold front, glorious high pressure, which will be in control for the rest of the week and into this weekend, producing excellent weather conditions, low humidity, temperatures near normal in the lower to mid 80s. Really, another wonderful weekend on the way. So yes, we have to get through these thunderstorms this afternoon and evening, but then we pay off big time with some excellent weather on the way. I want to show you the water vapor satellite picture. What I did is overlaid the cold fronts, the water vapor satellite picture, and the upper level winds. And what I want to do is make a very clear point is that we're starting to see a deep trough set up over the Aleutians and to the south of the Aleutians. And more importantly, a very deep, well-defined trough right here over the eastern United States, setting up what will be a rather impressive cool weather pattern setting up for next week that may actually break record lows in some locations, especially in New England, the Great Lakes, the Northern Plains, and yes, possibly even our neck of the woods in the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. It's going to be chilly out there. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what the reaction will be in the media with these cool temperatures on the way. And no, it is not an attack of the polar vortex or any of that nonsense. Let me hit that right now. If anyone runs around and screams polar vortex, delete them from your weather feed. Okay? I'm just going to say that right now. So let's take a look at the latest model guidance from the Penn State UWall website using the European model guidance. Again, for today, that cold front moves through. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. An isolated severe thunderstorm is possible. These thunderstorms will feature strong wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, exceeding 60 miles per hour in severe thunderstorms, heavy downpours, frequent lightning, small threat for hail, and an isolated threat for a tornado. Stress the word isolated there. Temperatures are going to rise into the mid-80s for most locations for highs. For tomorrow, high pressure takes control. Very comfortable weather conditions are in place. Temperatures in the lower to mid-60s for lows. High temperatures in the mid-80s throughout the region, pretty much averaging near normal for this time of year. For Friday, high pressure in place again. Temperatures ranging from the upper 50s to mid-60s for lows. Obviously a little bit warmer in your urban locations. High temperatures in the mid-80s. Saturday and Sunday, high pressure in control once again with scattered cloud cover and tranquil weather conditions. Low temperatures in the lower to mid-60s. High temperatures in the lower to mid-80s along the immediate coast, mid-80s throughout the rest of the region. Could be a few upper 80s in the Delaware River Valley, especially around Philadelphia. But overall, very nice weekend on the way. Now, for Monday, very interesting. A strong cold front will be approaching the region with showers and thunderstorms. This cold front will move through on Tuesday morning and exit by Tuesday evening. Behind this cold front, you're talking about temperatures falling into the lower to mid 70s for highs. Right now we have that for lows. That's what's going to be the high temperatures behind this cold front. There is a little bit of difference on the speed of this cold front and exactly how fast it's going to move. So Monday, I'm looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 80s for highs ahead of the cold front. Tuesday, I'm going upper 70s to lower 80s. It could be cooler or it could be warmer, depending on the speed of this cold front. Some models in ensemble guidance suggest this cold front will be well off the coast by Tuesday afternoon, which means we are in a very comfortable and very cool polar air mass by Tuesday afternoon. However, there are some guidance like the Operational European, this one, and the GFS that suggests the cold front's going to move a little slower, and thus our temperatures are more in the mid-80s. So kind of splitting the difference there for right now until we get a little bit better handle on the speed of this cold front. But you can see just a very impressive upper level low setting up. And this is a direct result of that typhoon in the Pacific that I wrote about on the Examiner. And believe it or not, the GFS is illustrating the threat for another powerful typhoon taking a very similar course, which would lead downstream to a very similar weather pattern to what we're going to see in mid-July by about late July into early August. So if you like cool summers, looks like we're setting up very nicely. And really this summer, what have we seen? We've seen a heat wave, if you want to call it that, of temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s with high levels of humidity for about 2 or 3 days at most. That's not a heat wave, ladies and gentlemen. That's an inconvenience. A heat wave is what we saw a couple years ago, where you have temperatures in the upper 90s to lower 100s and lasting 5-6 days. Now that is a heat wave, and quite frankly, we don't need it. Well, that is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. And of course, you can also find additional discussions on examiner.com. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.